Greetings, everybody, and I'm so excited to have Paul Rogers with me. He is calling us from Canada, and he's awareness hellraiser. He's a transformation expert. He's a highly entertaining keynote public speaker and a coach. He's a trauma, TBI, train crash, and a cancer survivor. He's a podcast host, Release the Genie. He's also best-selling author and awareness ties. He's also an ambassador and a columnist. So welcome, Paul. How are you?
Fine. Thank you very much. And thank you for such a great introduction. I really appreciate it.
You know, you are wealth of your credentials. And, you know, I have not even introduced a half or third of what, your capabilities and what your credentials and education are. So, but before we get into this, I want you to share with us your story about your train crash and about, if you connected with your cancer, how you survived the cancer, and to walk us through these miracles. So please, this stage is your, Paul. I'm so excited to have you. You have no idea.
Well, thank you. I mean, I know I've also, I can't wait for the book to come out, because that is where we really get into the meat and gravy of it. So I love that. So yeah, a very quick run through. I actually started my life as a commercial lawyer. Would you think of that? English commercial lawyer, that was before the dreadlocks. I moved from that to a kite surfing instructor. I then moved from kite surfing to a teacher on a native Indian reserve for 5 years in Canada. And during that time, I was diagnosed with skin cancer. And hearing the big C word is just, I mean, I think there's so many people now who seem to have it. I don't know whether, and it doesn't get any easier. It does not get any easier. And so I had to come back from Canada because I was a tourist. So I didn't have the correct visas to stay and get treated. So I had to come back to the UK.
Wow.
And yeah, it's when you've been through the mill of cancer and you come out the other end, you come out a very different person than what you went in. It's a bit like where we are at the moment with COVID. We are all very different people to how we went into it. It was almost like a naivety, but now we're completely different people. And I personally think that that's actually quite a good thing. And so when you said about transformations happen all the time. In fact, they're the only constant in life is transformation. Everything that happens, every little detail, even the mistakes lead to actually big transformations. So then we figured that cancer, you'd have thought by then I'd had my lessons in life, but actually it was just preparing me for a horrific accident which took place 3 years ago on the 19th of March, 2018. And I'll go into more details in the actual book, but our car, which my wife, my 2-year-old, and my beautiful white husky Manumet, was hit and run over by a train. And it sounds almost like it's a part of a bad movie or a nightmare where you hope you're going to wake up. But in fact, the worst nightmares I've found happen when you are awake. And we were to wake up, my wife and I, 10 days later, not knowing who I was. I didn't know if I had a family. I didn't even know who I was. And one thing that really breaks my heart is because both my wife and I were knocked out and tragically injured, my 2-year-old was left all alone, defenseless. We couldn't hear his cries for us to wake up. And that's just, anyone who's got children, grandchildren will know that that's just something you never, ever want to happen. And so since then, 2018, when I woke up, it was a miracle, and actually that's what the ICU workers told my parents. My parents were in England, and they got that call that you better get here because we're not sure if he's going to see the night through. And they said, well, when you get here, you're mostly going to have to turn his life support off.
Oh.
And so my parents had to get on a plane from England to Canada, 7 hours. Now, 7 hours anyway is a long way, but 7 hours when you actually know you're up against a stopwatch. And there is a miracle of how I woke up. Again, I'm not going to spoil but something magical happened, which the medical profession cannot explain. Even to this day, they can't explain it. And there's been a series of those type events. I never really used to believe in spiritual and angels and miracles. I'm very different now. And when I woke up, I had a broken neck, broken back, smashed skull. As one of the doctors said to me, pretty banged up. He must have been English because that's a classic understatement. Oh, you're a bit banged up. So, but I found there are certain ways and gifts which actually happen on the way. And you just need to be willing and able to find them in the wreckage, literally the wreckage. And something was born in that accident. Something died, but then as it died, there was a rebirth into something else. And that is a very an emotional part, which it's kind of a topic by itself. It involves my beautiful furry angel. And so it's really been since 2018, putting the pieces of your life back together, because I have had the witness of actually mourning myself and my death whilst I'm still alive. And that's something no one really wants or needs to go through. But I got asked on a live radio, which if you had your way, would you go back and change it? I said, no. I said, I'll take the pain. Even today, I have had pain. I have acute PTSD, CPTSD, which is the gift that just keeps on giving. But there are certain things which I've found the reason why I talk and I speak to people like yourself and help on these platforms to write these books is it's just another way of raising awareness to bring the light of beauty, of kindness, of compassion. And these things, opportunity rarely arrives with a big sign around its neck saying, hey, I'm an opportunity. Instead, it actually comes through it's disguised in clothes of a painful ending. It's a breakup. And this thing what I have learned, and which I help try and get other people to try and see, is that there is light, even though there is pitch black. And I try and actually put them in touch and show them that they actually are their own real life heroes. And that's why I do my public speaking. That's why I've got a public speaking course, which is called Find Your Voice. And that's literally because the greatest gift you can give somebody, and through this book, is your story.
Yes.
And not just your story, what did you learn? Because the story in itself is a piece, it's an important piece of the puzzle, but it's not where you stop. People want to know, how the heck did you get through that? And that's kind of where I see my place of raising awareness and helping people. So
It's awesome.
yeah.
And Paul, you know, like you went through such a, you know, traumatic time in your life, and have your purpose of life clear right now? So if I ask you the question, what is the purpose of your life? What would be your answer?
Raise awareness.
Of what?
So awareness of anything which is in people's paths, anything which is difficult, anything which is a challenge, any ailments, if you're somebody who knows somebody, have awareness, and then you will be able to help them. It's not just the individual, it's the network, it's the people around, it's the people who may not know what to do, what to say. And I know I got sent back. I have a fairly clear part of actually being returned, even though I didn't want to come back. And it was because I hadn't actually yet fulfilled what I was meant to do here. So I do know why I'm here. I do, and I've got a very clear picture. And speaking to you, this is part of the journey right now, right with you and all your listeners. This is part of the journey which I was always meant to take. So we were talking before the show about not believing in coincidences, and it's no coincidence that the people who are watching, something brought you here to this moment, watching and listening to both of us. That's not by accident. There is something in here which you needed to see or learn, and that's how I think awareness works. It's not just, oh, stand on a rooftop and go, hey everyone. It's a bit more subtle than that, and through our actions, that's how you raise awareness.
I love it, Paul. And how would you want to be remembered, you know, by others, by your family, by the people around you, by people that you touch their lives?
I would like to be remembered as somebody who, despite everything that happened, was still able to turn around and extend his hand to somebody else to help them. That if there's one legacy I want people to know, is that I help them in whatever the way, help them or somebody they know. That's it.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Paul. But let's touch a little bit about the book, about your books, about, you know, the book that you have contributed to my site too. And the book is a Godfident Voices, you know, one message through the voices of many. And you are one of the contributors to my project of the worldwide. And I cannot wait for everybody out there to read really in details your story, because every single one, like you said, everybody has a story. If they learn how to share, and if they learn what, you know, the main message, what the life is teaching us all about. So let's talk about, you know, in a few minutes about your books. So what is the main message that you wanted to convey to the readers through your book, and what the name of your books too, if you can list them?
Yes, it's called The White Wolf's Way, which is actually a tribute to my furry angel. And get this is going to be a bit of a turn up. I write under a pen name of Kate Summers. And so it's Kate Summers and Paul Rogers. There isn't just protecting my vanity behind that. There is actually a genuine reason. Kate actually has turned up as a physical, as a presence in my life to help me channel these books. And it tells this, it's in the self-help area, but it's done by using the white and the black wolf. And so telling things, as you said, through story makes it so much more relatable than just a shopping list of stuff. And so that tale, I give it the color of, the first book is about self-compassion. So you can kind of see where it's heading after that. So I've had three, they're free on Amazon. And so I, like yourself, it's more important to spread the word than actually to gain some financial benefit, because you can't take it anywhere anyway. It's far better if people receive the benefit which was meant to be.
Absolutely. And Paul, let's say, there's one person particular is watching you right now, and you talked about the finding the purpose of life. And there's so many people around the world, especially with such a redefining, the media that is such a powerful, voice, redefining our identity, redefining our purpose of life. So what would you want to tell that person who is right now confused, lost, and, abandoned by the world about search of his or her identity? I want you to take this in a few minutes and talk to him.
Absolutely. I'm going to start this with a beautiful quote. I'm a big fan of Dr. Wayne Dyer, and the quote which always hits me is, "Don't die with the music still inside you." And that's so, we all have a song. Every single person here on the planet has a song. Don't get to the point where you get to the end of your life and say, was it all wrong? If there's something you don't like doing it, that is your senses, your imaginary self, your heart tapping you on the shoulder and saying, you need to change. Now, COVID has lots of bad stuff, but it also has given us an opportunity to reassess, to actually stop and, if necessary, change direction, level up, whatever it is, but get in touch with whatever your passion was. Mine was kite surfing. I was a lawyer. I mean, lawyer and kite surfer are pretty much polar opposites. But what happened was I stopped listening to my head and I started listening to my heart. And I can tell you, guaranteed, that it's never, ever, ever let me down. And if you were able to actually just come away from the committee, because your heart has an idea, it sends it up to the head and they discuss it and then it never goes anywhere. But if you're just able to listen and trust your instincts, they call it instinct, they call it gut reaction, that is what is the true purpose in your calling. You have to go within. You can't seek that outside. And another one of Wayne Dyer's quotes, which I'll sort of end with, is the best doors always open inwards. So take the journey inwards and you'll find whatever it is. And actually there's one question you have to answer in this life. What makes you happy? That's it.
I absolutely love this one, Paul, just listening to you, such, like a nice way of explaining it. Like you said, it's not just a shopping list of, okay, bam, 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 but it's just really relatable story. And, I found it to myself, very instrumental and very profound what you have just said. Yes, there's one question. What makes you happy? Are you searching from your head answers, or your answers coming from your heart? And, I so relate to you because I am the heart person. I always follow my intuition. I always follow my gut feeling, however you want to call it, right? Not the head. And that's why, I am fearless. It makes you be a risk taker. And that's what I like, because that's what makes me happy. And I wish everybody out there to find their happiness, the thread to lead them to this happiness through the people, places, and things that makes them really to be a person that they are today. And with this one, Paul, we're going to say thank you for your time. So, and for your story, we will going to share all of your information down below that people will be able to contact you and connect with you as well with this powerful story and invite you to their stages as well. Within that, we will see you guys for the next time. But until then, I want you to please stay happy, healthy, and blessed.